react after Charlie gets shot. Let's watch how he reacts. Mikey is still there, phone in hand, still filming, still texting, still talking. Charlie is about to be killed. Mikey's still standing loyally by, right there. And then let's watch him walk away. So he goes behind it, and he comes out right here. He just walks away. There he is, walking away.
Wow.
So there he is, walking away. That's him. That's him walking away. This is a crazy story that Sam Parker has unveiled, and it has to do with Charlie Kirk's right-hand man at TP USA. Here's what he says. As everyone else rushed to Charlie's aid and carried him to an SUV and to jet him to a hospital, this guy, Mike McCoy, can be seen... Mikey McCoy can be seen walking away in the distance, completely ignorant of whatever it is that's happening to Charlie behind him. Walking away.
This is one of Charlie's guys, and it makes me so effing mad.
None of these things make any sense to me. Like, you're telling me that this kid who's not military trained, this guy, first of all, how to get to the roof? How come nobody was looking? How come nobody was like? There's a direct line of sight between where he's sitting and those roofs. You guys didn't check? You don't have a drone?
Story.
Like, that's insane.
In the clip, the newly Mike McCoy, Charlie's longtime friend and chief of staff, appears to...
There he is, walking away.
Wow.
Walking away. Watch him walk away like nothing happened.
There are moments in life where instinct takes over. When someone you care about collapses, you don't think. You don't plan. You move. You run toward them. But in the footage linked to Charlie Kirk's final moments, someone didn't. As Charlie's body hits the stage, as the crowd gasps in horror, a key member of his own team looks at him and quietly walks away. One person, a key leader, the chief of staff of his own organization, did not. Please, before we continue, never forget to drop your contribution. Please drop your comment as you listening to this new updates. We would definitely respond to all comment. We stand for truth. We stand for Charlie. No urgency, no panic, just distance. Maybe it was shock, maybe confusion, or maybe some people move toward tragedy and others move away from responsibility. This video is not about blaming anyone. It's about asking the question every human heart should ask. Why didn't you help? Because when a man loses his life, the bare minimum we owe him is urgency. What do you think? Is the case moving forward carefully, or is progress being slowed by procedural delays? Share your thoughts in the comments below. That's where we hear your thought, because we will definitely respond to all comment. And also make sure you comment where you're watching from. To stay updated on every development, subscribe now, turn on notifications, and also don't hesitate to support this movement so you stay informed as new update becomes available. This is Detective Max, and together, we fight for justice. Those seconds feel longer when you watch them frame by frame. Hands fumble with phones, a woman screams, someone begins to shout for help. But the man we're watching, the senior staffer, pauses. Not with the frantic movement of someone overwhelmed, but with the measured cadence of someone stepping away. Look at his shoulders. They don't hunch forward. They settle. His eyes don't dart. They register, then close. His feet carry him out of the crowd's frantic orbit. It's small. It's silent. It's easy to dismiss if you want to. But in an emergency, the small things build the bigger picture. What were his hands doing? Why didn't he reach? Why didn't he shout? Those are the questions that refuse to leave the frame. Maybe he panicked. Maybe he was stunned. Maybe he believed someone else was already there. All possible. All human. All worth saying out loud. And yet, every person who watches will feel the same cold curiosity. If you are part of the team, if you are close enough to know the routes and the risks, why step back when everything is collapsing forward? This is not accusation. This is scrutiny. We are detectives of human behavior, not jurors of intent. We are asking for the simplest courtesy, an explanation. Because when footage surfaces and is ignored, the silence becomes part of the story. When the people responsible for a leader's safety are quiet, Viewers fill the gap with suspicion, and suspicion is loud. So we keep watching, frame by frame, second by second. We catalog the gestures, the pauses, the absent urgency. We collect the uncomfortable little details that, together, form the question everyone now asks in the quiet that follows. When a man fell, why did someone who should have run toward him choose to walk away? That question hangs in the video, and it will not be satisfied by platitudes, not when a life is the price of the unanswered moment. A timeline doesn't care about opinions. It doesn't care about political sides, or public relations statements, or who holds the microphone afterward. A timeline tells the truth that words often avoid. Here's what we know, not from rumors, but from seconds caught on camera. Charlie falls. The room erupts in shock. People stand, chairs scrape, someone shouts for medical help. Security moves, but hesitates. They're looking for direction. They aren't sure whether to protect the stage or reach the man lying on it. And the team member near Charlie, who should know what to do, doesn't close the distance. He steps out of frame. When chaos hits, we watch people choose. Some choose to act, some choose to freeze, and some choose distance. This isn't a theory. It's observable. It's on video. Investigators ask 3 questions. Who moved first? Who hesitated? Who avoided the moment altogether? Because movement exposes instinct, and instinct reveals priority. The audience, ordinary people, strangers, moved toward the danger. The staff member, a person trained to respond, moved away from it. That detail matters. We are not pointing fingers. We are shining a light. Because when a human life is on the line, doing nothing is still a choice. And choices tell stories. You can learn everything about a person by how they react when the unexpected happens. When someone collapses, instinct takes over. Not training, not protocol, instinct. Most people ran toward Charlie. People who had never spoken to him. People who owed him nothing. They ran. They leaned over the railing. They called out to security. They pushed chairs aside just to get closer. But the man who stood closest, the one with the access badge, the one who knew the exits, the rehearsals, the risks, he didn't run. He created distance, slowly, not out of fear, not out of panic, just distance. He didn't check if Charlie was breathing. He didn't shout for medical help. He didn't make space for others to get closer. He walked away, and the mind tries to rationalize it. Maybe he was overwhelmed. Maybe he assumed someone else had it handled. But the heart asks a simpler question. If it were someone you loved lying on that stage, would you walk away? This reaction is not illegal. It is not evidence of wrongdoing. But behavior speaks, and sometimes silence is the loudest explanation of all. When life collapses in front of you, neutrality is a choice. And in that moment, when urgency mattered most, the choice was not to help. When words fail, bodies speak. Every gesture, every pause, every step tells a story, if you know how to read it. In this footage, the senior staff member's body is clear. No flinching, no widening of the eyes, no sudden motion. Just measured distance. No shock, no panic, no urgency. Just a step back, and then another. Investigators call it calculated calm. Some call it frozen by circumstance. Others call it a story the body tells when words are silent. Every professional knows the difference. The person who is stunned by tragedy and the person whose movements are deliberate. And in this frame, the movements appear deliberate. The camera captures more than a man walking. It captures human instinct, or the absence of it. Intentional or not, the signals are the same. Someone who should have acted did not. And that silence, that lack of motion, that distance, resonates louder than any shout in the room. It leaves a question in every observer's mind. When someone falls, why does someone so close choose to step aside? In every situation, incentives guide behavior. Who moves, who freezes, who chooses distance. Charlie was more than a person on stage. He was the face of a movement, a recognizable voice, a symbol to supporters and critics alike. When the face disappears, suddenly, unexpectedly, the spotlight doesn't vanish. It shifts. And human nature has a pattern: power, attention, responsibility. It never vanishes. It transfers. We are not here to accuse. We are here to observe, to document, to notice. Sometimes, in emergencies, the choices we make are guided by what we stand to gain or what we fear to lose. And in this moment, viewers cannot help but wonder, if someone who was closest to the crisis walked away, what were they thinking? What was weighing on them? It's not criminal. It's not proof of ill intent, but it is a pause in the timeline. And pauses in moments like these speak volumes. Because when a man falls, the gap between instinct and ambition becomes impossible to ignore. Charlie Kirk was not a symbol in that moment. He was a husband, a father, a son, a human being with a life, a family, and people who depended on him. And in those seconds, captured on camera, he was just a man lying on a stage, fighting for breath, surrounded by chaos. Now imagine the perspective of someone closest to him, his spouse, his family, his friends, watching that video, seeing someone who should have acted step away instead. A gut reaction, a human instinct is to run toward danger, not to step aside, not to freeze, not to walk away. When someone you love collapses, you run, you reach, you call out, you do everything within your power to help. Every second that passes without action leaves a mark, not just on the timeline, but on the conscience of those watching, on the minds of the audience, on the family who cannot rewind the moment. And yet, in that video, there was walking away, and the silence that followed speaks louder than words ever could. Within hours, official statements were drafted. Social media exploded. Headlines were written. Videos were shared. Opinions were formed. But in all of this noise, not once did anyone publicly address the footage, the seconds that showed a person who should have acted stepping away. Not once. Why does that silence exist? Why does the reaction vanish from every conversation? Why pretend the footage doesn't exist? Suspicion doesn't arise when questions are asked. Suspicion arises when questions are ignored. Viewers notice, observers notice, family notices, and when life hangs in the balance, silence becomes part of the story. In investigative work, the absence of explanation is often more revealing than any statement. Every ignored question, every overlooked frame, builds a story of human behavior in moments that matter most. And so the footage remains, quietly challenging us. When a man fell and someone who should have acted walked away, what does that tell us about responsibility? A man lost his life. A family lost their world. And for some, it was just another moment on a video feed. The instinct to act, the human urgency to respond, the moral pull toward helping someone in need was missing in that frame. We are not accusing, we are observing, but the absence of action raises the weightiest question of all. When life hangs in the balance, who chooses to step aside? It's not illegal, it's not a crime, but it is morally stark, emotionally raw, and impossible to ignore. Every viewer who sees that moment cannot help but feel it. The cold emptiness of someone who should have helped, walking away. And the guilt of watching, of knowing it could have been different, is shared by every human who witnesses it. Because life does not wait for hesitation, and responsibility does not forgive absence. Sometimes the loudest screams are not heard in the room, but in the silence left behind. In investigative work, we do not assume, we do not accuse, we observe, we record, we reflect. The question is not, did someone do something wrong? The question is, why didn't someone do something right? Because Charlie is gone, and the one thing we cannot walk away from is the truth. Some people ran toward him, others walked away. The choice is silent, but it speaks louder than any words could, and every second of footage carries its weight. You decide which reaction matters. You decide what urgency looks like. You decide what it means to step up or to step aside. Because when life is on the line, every decision, every pause, becomes part of the story that will never be forgotten.